On a spectacular afternoon in Indian Wells, California, we are live at the Newsweek Champions Cup. And here come the players, Pete Sampras and Stefan Edberg, and Alan King for the introductions.
Ladies and gentlemen, for the right to play in the finals of the Newsweek Champions Cup, let's welcome to the stadium called the #1 player in the world, Pete Sampras, and the world's former #1 player, Stefan Edberg. A big Indian Wells welcome.
An unbelievable weekend of tennis here at Indian Wells for the Newsweek Champions Cup. Two dream semifinals. Becker and Agassi, the #3 and #2 player in the world, and our feature match, the former #1 player in the world, Stefan Edberg, against the current #1, Pete Sampras. And hi everybody, I'm Mary Carrillo along with Luke Jensen. And Luke, what a match this could really be. A year ago, Pete Sampras, the #1 player in the world by a mile. He'd already won 2 titles at this time last year, including the first leg of the Grand Slam, the Australian Open. It's 1 year later. What's up with Pete?
Well, at that point, he was superhuman. Now you've got Andre Agassi crawling all over his back after that #1 ranking, and he wants it. Now look today for Sampras to gain that form to win this tournament.
All right, well, Pete Sampras, have a look at his results. Again, last year, he was so tough, Luke.
I mean, he had 2 titles. Again, the Australian Open, really rough. Now, no titles. Again, Andre Agassi all over him, and his coach, Tim Gullickson, all on the sideline with health problems.
Yep, a lot of problems for Pete Sampras. He plays Stefan Edberg, who was #1 in the world. He's ranked 16 in the world now. Is he really 16?
Absolutely not. This is a guy who's a former #1 player, can beat anybody at any time. A great serve and volley player. Look for him to give Sampras a tough match. Look at, he's as low as #18, #16 now, and I'm telling you, he's ready to make a big move in 1995.
All right, still something left from Stefan Edberg. He takes on Pete Sampras in just a few moments. Stay with us, everybody. Sampras and Edberg up next. Hey, Sarah, where do you want Luke? On Fred's? Luke, get right there, bud. Yes.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen.
So, is all that gone?
Semifinals of the Newsweek Champions Cup, presented by Holman International.
So, everything we just did hasn't happened.
And so will the tennis
Oh, it's the island. Okay.
The semifinals this afternoon, plus the doubles finals,
Oh, vamp.
is about as good as it'll get in tennis. And we're very happy that you came out for this glorious, glorious day. This young man served notice to the tennis world when he won the Grand Slam of junior tennis.
I'll just follow you.
16. At 19, he won his first
In overtime, what?
Australian Open. He's gone to win 41 IBM ATP Tour titles, including 2 Wimbledon
Forecast
champions,
wonderful.
2 U.S. Opens, and 2 Newsweek
All right.
Champions Cup.
No problem.
#1 in the world in 1990 and 91.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, from Sweden, please welcome Stefan Edberg.
Okay, that's fine.
His opponent is the youngest man ever to win the U.S. Open.
Back at Indian Wells, we've had some bad weather here this week, though not as much as was originally forecast. Some rain in the last several days. The conditions for this semifinal could not be any better. If there's anything wrong at all, it's that it is a little breezy down there, a little gusty, and that surely could affect Stefan Edberg, who's got a very high ball toss on his serve. And of course, his serve, Luke, is so key to any kind of success he can have against Sampras today.
He has to get deep first serves, and he can't be hitting a lot of second serves. He's got to get high on the Sampras forehand or backhand return, get in tight on the net, and make penetrating volleys. As you can see, he's 16 right now. That's not a true indication of a former #1 player. He's a lot better than that. His daughter, Emily, is also here in attendance with his wife. I mean, he's got a lot of distractions, but there's no doubt he wants to get back into that top 5. Win a Grand Slam.
Yeah, he still thinks he's got a Grand Slam title in him, and though some people think that his best shot would be on the grass of Wimbledon, he really feels like he's a hard court player more before he's anything else.
March Madness is very good for him right now because the ball lands very high. It helps his serve, helps his groundies, and his volleys.
His opponent, Pete Sampras, I honestly feel that he has played better and better with each match this week. He didn't look too good, I thought, against Jonas Bjorkman, the first guy he played. But I don't know, he looked pretty good against Todd Martin, I thought, yesterday in the quarterfinal.
Bjorkman's not going to give you any rhythm, so it's tough for you to get out there and hit a few balls and stuff like that. Todd Martin took him out earlier this year in Philadelphia. Look out for Pete Sampras to really turn it on against Edberg. He's very eager. He wants Agassi in the final. Currently ranked #1. He's just the best player right now besides Agassi. I mean, last year he was dominating. Agassi, again, is crawling all over his back to be #1.
Sampras to serve first.
Sampras to serve.
Stefan Edberg will be coming to the net on every single opportunity, and Sampras' coaches have been telling him to do the same thing. If Sampras doesn't get there, he knows that Edberg will be there. Early trouble for Sampras, love 30.
But he's got that big gun in that serve. So love 30 for the kid is nothing. Watch for a few aces.
That's a nicely angled volley. Pretty nice looking serve he's got, huh, Luke?
Best in the business. Serving out to the Edberg forehand, forces the weak return, knocks off the backhand volley across court. Now we're at deuce.
Is there an action in tennis you like more on the serve than Pete's?
It's just so fluid. You look at Michael Stich, again, no hitches, gets the whole body weight forward into the ball.
30-all. Sampras looking to the chair.
From where we stood, that was very close.
You see that? Really couldn't go. The ball was crossing the line. It was really close.
Paulo Pereira in the chair is sticking with this call. A bad break for Sampras and a break point for Edberg.
Great opportunity for Edberg. He's got to get in front of the pistol early. He's going to have a chance. Put the pressure on Sampras. That's his daddy. He wants to go to the Texas T-bone. Edberg's forehand is his weaker shot. He's got the meat hook over there on that forehand side. So he's going to swing him wide in the deuce court and go right down to the Texas T in the ad like he did there for the ace.
Deuce. Man, 2 double faults this game.
But he's going to do that. It's not unlike Sampras, hit a few doubles early in the match because he serves so hard. It's a 93-mile-an-hour second serve.
Break point again. That goes wide. A break right away from the Swede, Stefan Edberg. He'll be serving when we come back.
Newsweek title sponsor the 1995 Newsweek Champions Cup welcomes you to the High Grand Champions Resort. Every day this weekend you can see the finest competition in one of the country's foremost tennis stadiums. Newsweek Champions Cup is proud to be home of the IBM ATP Tour, and on behalf of all of us at Newsweek, we invite you to share the excitement of tennis at its best.
Okay.
Sarah, who won that basketball game in overtime? Stone.
Swing. Right. Right. Classic. Back at the Newsweek Champions Cup, Pete Sampras has lost serve for only the third time in this event. Last time they played was a beauty, a classic on indoor carpet in Frankfurt at the ATP Championship, 7-6 in the third, finally decided by Sampras. That's got to feel pretty nice, Lucas. Sampras had 4 out of 5 points were unforced errors in that first game of his, including 2 doubles.
This serve goes right into the wheelhouse. Bam! Down the line, that Sampras backhand is nasty. There's 2 big differences. The first point, he didn't get the ball up on Sampras. Sampras hits a winner return down the line. Second point, Edberg goes to the body once again, but gets the ball nice and high, forces the high return, knocks off the volley.
15-all.
Again, Edberg needs to get the ball high on the serve to the Sampras backhand. He did it that time, forced an error. You're going to see this all day today.
And now 40-15. There are some players who feel that Edberg's serve has lost a little bit of its sting, and that's why he's been losing some matches. But it looks pretty good right now.
Well, you look at an Edberg, he's not going to hit. That first serve was 105, a nice, deep, solid serve. It gets him into the net. It's great for this surface. It's great for a grass court surface, even clay. But now you're looking at Sampras, who serves 120 consistently. Michael Chang, 115 consistently. It's not that it's bad.
It's just not that big. What a fine return from Sampras to draw things even.
I mean, that serve was 96 miles an hour, nice and deep. But compared to the other guys, he's not as big off that serve. Again, nice and deep, gets in tight, but the slice and dice from Sampras, just too good. Sampras likes to do that on critical points. 30-all, 15-30, break point. Run around that second serve, hit a forehand for a winner. Break point. Edberg feels the intensity right now. You see him clenching his fist. He took a little pace off. That was only 100 miles an hour. Gets himself in tight, throws Sampras off.
Second deuce.
You can see a strategy right now by both players. Sampras came out really looking to exploit the Edberg forehand right from the start with the serving and volleying, serving to Edberg's forehand. Now on Edberg's side, I'm surprised he's going to the Sampras backhand so much.
Gets an ace from that side. His first of the day. A nice one, too. 108 miles an hour. That's pretty big for Edberg. He doesn't usually go for the big pace. Pete Sampras has faced serving volleyers, Luke, all throughout this tournament, hasn't he?
I mean, again, Bjorkman, non-rhythm. The guy's going to get in your face the whole time. Rafter, again, he's going to enjoy watching the serving volleyers because he's used to it right now. If he does break through this match to play in Agassi, it could be a little different play for him. Longer points.
Agassi not yet in the semis, of course. That match will be played later today between Andre Agassi and Boris Becker. A nice looking one. Stefan Edberg has not yet played a serving volleyer. All dirt ballers, really.
That's right. Sanguinetti actually played number 8 at UCLA a couple years ago. He was a qualifier, a good ground stroker. Edberg didn't have the bye like the traditional top 8 players. First time he's had to play a number 1 first round in a championship series event like this, a big 9. I think it gave him a little extra confidence. Another match out here on the stadium court. Played it at night, little midnight madness, so he actually got another feel for the court, another match under his belt.
30-15 and 40-15. Third ace.
No, that's 117. Edberg hits his ace, a nice one, 108.
Yep.
Sampras consistently 120, 115.
Game point.
Such a sweet backhand. Two of the best backhands in the game. Stefan Edberg stepping up into the court, no man's land, ripping it, putting enough topspin on it, keep it in, but yet generating the pace to pass Sampras.
Still game point for Sampras. And he's got it. Sampras holds. Edberg will be serving at 2-1 when we come back. What's the score? What happened? It's still going? Wow. Do we know who's playing? Ooh, yeah. Kentucky. Come on. Okie doke. There it is. Okay, good. Pretty darn good. Okie doke. Back on stadium court, Edberg to serve, operating with a break. Good serving game from Edberg last time around. He had to serve 10 points. It was a long first game for him, and he got 9 first serves in. It's pretty tough.
If Edberg's going to win this match, he's got to serve at that high level.
90%? That sounds a little unrealistic.
Not for Stefan Edberg. He's a perfectionist.
Okay. Edberg, 29 years old. One of the oldest guys still playing.
When you're looking at 28, 29 as being old, it's hard to believe how young this game really is. Sampras in his early 20s. Agassi.
24.
That's a little "thank you very much" from Sampras. A Great serve by Edberg into the backhand body. Right here, nice toss. Just shanked it inside out. Again, Sampras pays for his rackets, or most people do, so you got to use it all. Some paint left on the ball. Again, attacking the high backhand of Pete Sampras. One-hander really can't generate the control and the power up there.
That's Edberg loves that serve.
That's right.
He does that an awful lot. The wide one to the ad. 40-15. And another one to the backhand draws the error. 3-1. Edberg could not be playing much cleaner ball right now.
Absolutely not. His first serve percentage is very high. He's closing in nice. Even though Sampras sometimes get a shank here, a shank there, he's all over Sampras. He's putting the pressure on. It's exactly what he wants to do. Critical game. Critical game for both players right now.
Again, Edberg a very healthy 93% first serve percentage.
Oh, that is
Sampras in
just
the early
smoking.
60s, yeah.
Smoking.
Another error from Sampras. His 5th.
Great stuff. Just going coast to coast with this. He hits a big kick serve, takes some pace off so he gets in tight to the net. Sampras, here it is. Gets in low for the forehand volley, stays with it. Watch him stay low. Watch the ball all the way into his strings for the Wienerstens. That's the big, all right, going to the meat hook. That's what he does. Ace number 4 for the pistol. Again, he likes that serve. He likes swinging it out wide to that forehand for the righty.
30-15.
Look at the feel. That is great feel. Edberg gets the lucky crack off of the net court. Stays low, doesn't bounce up high. Watch this. Surprises Sampras, but look at this. Sam, the smooth man, just throws it down nice and deep for the winner. Look at it. Edberg. They can't even get a break there.
And off an ace, Sampras holds easily. 3-2, first set.
Yeah. Also, Mitsubishi Electronics is proud to be the sponsor of the 1995 Newsweek
Okay.
Champions Cup.
Talk to
Remember,
Sarah
with
about my
Mitsubishi
age.
Electronics, anything is possible.
Okay.
Okay, it's nutty, it's wacky. I know that. Oh, here.
Who won the Orlando San Antonio game?
93-92. Semifinal action of the Newsweek Champions Cup continues. First round, Sampras and Edberg, and Sampras seems to be working his way into this first set.
Still down to break though. Edberg serving at 93%. Talking about superhuman, we talked about it in the beginning of the show. 94, all Sampras at this time last year. Looks like Edberg has stepped to the plate. Former #1, big Frisbee guy. Loves Frisbee.
You have to tell that story that, Luke, please, that the only 2 autographs Edberg ever has asked for are from who? Professional
Frisbee throwers in Sweden. And he still has them, knew him by name.
#1. 1990 and 91 were Edberg's very best years. And then Jim Courier took the throne from him. They swapped it back and forth a little bit. Then, of course, Sampras took it from Jim Courier.
Again, Edberg attacking the high backhand return of Pete Sampras. Andre Agassi, who has the two hands. Jim Courier, who has the two-hand backhand. With that opposite, that other hand, you can control that. Swing! 107. Ace number 2. He's not going to throw a lot of heat, but he will place it where he wants. He goes inside, brings Sampras thinking inside all the time, body backhand, body forehand, and then goes outside for the ace.
Another beautiful whole game from Edberg. He's making it look easy. 4-2 now, first set.
Too. It just pitched it enough to distract Sampras. Classic backhand. Rackets back, gets under it, stays low, high finish for the backhand cross-court winner.
Love 15. Another great looking backhand. Are there two more stylish backhands in men's tennis than the ones these two?
Absolutely not. Michael Stich maybe. Boris Becker, more powerful, not a real smooth classic backhand, but these two are just bread and butter.
Love 30.
Double break point.
Thanks, Seb. Welcome, everyone, to semifinal action here at the Newsweek Champions Cup from Indian Wells, California. Terrific first set going on between the #1 player in the world and top seed Pete Sampras. Down a break to Stefan Edberg, and he's down break point right now. Oh, boy, Stefan Edberg is on fire and leading 5-2 in set 1 of this semifinal. Stay with us, everyone. This is a beauty. Okay, do I have to reference the game? Okay, now I don't have to. Okie doke. All right. I'll work it in. Very good. Okie doke. And his son is here too, I heard. Where is Seal? Where's my man? Seal's gonna.
Yeah, he's supposed to. Yeah, he's probably hitting some balls.
Can he play?
Yeah. Well, no, I haven't seen him play.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Newsweek Champions Cup. I'm Mary Carrillo, watching alongside Luke Jensen as Pete Sampras is in some real trouble in this first set. What a wild and hectic finish to that Arkansas-Kentucky game. Kentucky finally taking out the NCAA tournament defending champs. What about an update on this first set, Luke? What's been going on?
Edberg is on fire. Before his last service game, he was at 93%, only hitting 2 aces, but really attacking the Sampras backhand return. There it is, unforced error. Sampras all over the court right now. But he's going to go for it. You expect not as much, but a few unforced errors. Edberg at 1, that is amazing. He has been attacking that high backhand return from Sampras all day so far. He's got to close it out for a big 6-2 first set. Keep it rolling. The running forehand, vintage Pete Sampras. Gets the return down low, doesn't hit as hard as he can. Watch this, rack it back, put some topspin on it. Edberg has to hit up. Now watch this, I'm rumbling, bumbling, stumbling down the line for a winner. You can see the difference in the play when Sampras gets the return down, forces Edberg to volley up, compared to that last point where Edberg hit a great serve, Sampras hit a weak return high, and Edberg finishes it off.
30-15. Well, you know, Edberg moves so quickly, Luke, that he doesn't seem rushed, even against the #1 guy in the world. It looks like he's got all the time to execute his shots.
Well, when he is, again, moving well, first double fault of the match so far, but he's serving nice and deep, picking the spots, picking his openings, staying on top of Sampras right now. Oh, the feel, great hands. Sampras expecting a deep forehand volley. This was a solid return by Sampras. Just blocks it with the forehand, gets it low, but look at this. Just drops the racket head for the drop volley. Great shot.
Set point. Now, how did he miss that one? He was right on that.
I think he took his eye off the ball.
He goes for such exacting volleys, this guy Edberg.
Perfection, and he sticks them. He's not looking for a second volley. This is it, the volley is to end the point.
Yep, deuce.
There's some luck by Sampras. He didn't swing that ball out wide enough. Off the net court, expecting a low volley. Can't react fast enough. Now break point for Sampras. That's tough luck. Again, Sampras has got to get that return low. Edberg just pounding those volleys nice and deep in the court because they're so high. That's a tough shot for anybody. Even for world #1. He's in no man's land. He has to move up into the court and hit it inside out. With any kind of control and accuracy is very difficult.
Comes another set point. And another one saved. These two have played each other so much. They're even in their rivalry at 6. And neither one of them has ever broken away from the other. Has had more than 1 or 2 wins in a row. 2 wins max.
Nice backhand return. He waited for it, ripped it. Watch it. Rack it back. Stays low. Execution. Down the line for the winner.
Whoa.
That's the same shot he did last time. He was behind the ball. The volley was a little bit deeper. Less pace. And just puts it on a string down the line for the winner. Now break point. These are the kind of games that Edberg can't get in. He's got to stay away from these long, tough games. That's speed. Nothing but pure speed by Edberg. He had to go all the way to one side of the court to dig out a tough first volley. Watch it. Look how low and quick he is. Okay, he's way over on this side now. Plays a nice deep volley. Now he has to spring over the forehand drop volley across court.
Long game. Fourth deuce.
Whoa!
Already had 2 set points. Bad luck with that net cord, hasn't he?
Both players have. I think there was a couple times when Edberg got some lucky shots. Expecting the low return. Look at this. The trickster.
That's that frisbee lover in
That's
Edberg.
right, that's right. Look at this. In these situations, all professional athletes in every sport have to adapt to certain situations. Tennis is also that way.
Big chance now, a second serve on a break point to stay alive in this first set. There it is. That's one break gotten back. But Sampras is still in trouble.
But I think he really made some progress there. Looking back at Edberg's quarterfinal match, he was in trouble against Tommy the Colonel Muster. He was in trouble. He lost the first set badly, up until 4 on the second. He was just struggling, battling.
He did look pretty lame in that Muster match for a long time until he finally got it going in the second set.
Here it was, 57% at first serve. He's got to get his serves into the 65-70 range. 27 winners, that's a lot of volley winners. He really turned it on towards the end of the first and of course the third set. And it's really carried on to this match. Downtown. Backhand down the line. Again, classic. Look at this. He's looking. Racket back, comes through, down the line.
At 6.
Edberg has one of the best backhand Sampras. All these guys, you look at Agassi, you look at Sampras, Becker, you'll see a lot of these backhands down the line to really open up the match, open up points. Great stuff. Thing is, you won't see power from these guys all the time. You saw the big, powerful backhand by Edberg. Nice low return. Again, Edberg throwing another one down the line. Trying to keep it low. Sampras just too good.
Nice, comfortable hold for Pete Sampras, but he's still in trouble. Down a break in set 1. Eddie's playing great ball. What do they look like? Ready? You got some?
Sarah, didn't these two play last year here with like a 3-set match, or Edberg was up and then ended up losing a set?
It is a crack team down there. You guys are all smoking. It's an alert group.
Stop there!
Okie doke. Our semifinal coverage of the Newsweek Champions Cup is being brought to you by IBM, Solutions for a Small Planet, and by Cadillac and your Cadillac dealer, creating a higher standard. Back on the stadium court, a very high standard of play from Stefan Edberg, trying to knock off Pete Sampras in this semifinal match. Eddie continues to play very, very well.
Outstanding tennis by him, but again, you can never take any player on this circuit. on the HB Tour for granted, especially Pete Sampras, world #1. Edberg's up 2 breaks, 5-2, looks to be rolling. Lots of first serves, executing all of his shots, but then gives up a serve. Now Sampras is kind of like into it.
It's way long. Boy, he continues to go to Sampras' backhand on serve.
He tried to mix up a little bit to the forehand a couple times. Sampras just shelled him. I don't think he can get that one wide enough to really hurt Sampras. There's a shank volley. Again, these players using everything. Their grips. The paint job. Okay, stays low with it. Tough shot. But the meat hook, he almost like carried that one.
Yeah, he mauled this
That's
thing.
right. Look at this. That's what happens when you take the eye off the ball.
Still
Even at
wins
this
the
level.
point.
That's right.
Dirty love. And again, just trying to bust down that Sampras backhand. And now Edberg with 3 more set points.
What a great game for Edberg so far. Looks like Sampras is going to come back, make a run at this set.
There it is. In 33 minutes, Edberg now a set away from the final of this first of the great Super 9 championship events on the IBM ATP Tour.
Well, you know what Stefan Edberg does? When he's sitting there on the sideline, he's given up already 1 service game. It looks like Sampras is gaining momentum. He goes back to the playbook and he says, okay, first serve, first volley, keep it deep, keep it simple. Execute your shots. And he wins at love. He wins that game, wins the first set. And he really established the momentum once again, right when Sampras started to open the door to get back into this match.
Luke, we talked so much about the great volleying of Edberg. How much do you like Sampras' volleys?
Oh, I love Sampras' volleys. He really complements his serve with that. Ball hardly ever comes back, but when it does. Coming in, big forehand. Look at the dive.
Another kind of skanky ball.
That's right.
But it kept him alive.
Look at this. Edberg! Had the open court and put it away.
15-all. Yeah.
Swedish. That is so Swedish. He stays down with it and he rolls it.
And again, that he can, off of
Look at
this
that.
big
The
volley.
big windup.
Look how relaxed he looks. Look
That's
how much
right.
time he still has, Luke.
That's right. Well, the volley wasn't deep. The big difference in when Edberg was volleying that last game, he had Sampras pinned to the baseline trying to hit passing shots off his back foot. There, Edberg got a volley, a passing shot in no man's land. They don't call him the kid for nothing. The people getting fired up. Yeah.
That's his 7 days. He's trying to bring the crowd into this thing.
That's right.
Like, hey, I can play well too.
The man going to Italy to represent the U.S. Let's get behind him.
That's right. Sampras and Agassi agreeing to play second round of Davis Cup against 5,000 Sicilians in Palermo, Sicily in about 2.5 weeks.
Well, basically to end the Italian run of the 1995. That's a loose error. He really didn't need to go for that much. Maybe he could have sliced it and came in. But all day we've seen the high backhand of Pete Sampras not working. Break points. Sampras 1 for 4. Edberg 2 for 4. Made the difference in that first set. Look for Sampras on this first serve to go to the Edberg forehand, right down the T-bone. Down the middle. My bad. That's why I'm up here.
Actually, you and your brother Murph had a great looking run here in the doubles. Got yourselves to the semis. Had some big wins. Good for you. Back to deuce. All important game for Sampras. That early break really cost him in set number 1.
Whoa! Oh, you know it's hard when the fans are going, ooh. Just the smoke coming off of that ball. That's Stefan Edberg tennis right there. He did it all yesterday against Thomas Muster. Slicing, dicing, getting the ball deep, coming in, using his quickness.
Another break point, the second of this game.
This point is huge for Stefan Edberg. If he can execute this, get an early break, he's in the driver's seat. Second serve.
And a broken string from Edberg.
This gives Pete Sampras a first serve again. If Pete Sampras breaks the string on his own serve, he still has to serve a second. Stefan Edberg going to the bag.
A little bit of luck there from Sampras. Boy, he's been busting strings all over the place this week.
The balls are a little bit heavier. The court's a little slower. It's going to happen a lot when you're playing guys like Thomas Muster. You're going to hit a lot of balls. Sanguinetti in the first round, you hit a lot of balls. It goes 3 sets in the first round.
So on break point, 2 serves for Sampras.
That's a bad miss.
And now Sampras busted a string. So he only gets 1 serve.
That's right.
Yeah, his break all the time. He gets him strung every single day. He's very, very sensitive.
And he strings them very tight. I mean, he's got a mid-sized racket. He's stringing in the 70s with natural gut, uncoated. There you go, right in the center. Whereas the Edberg racket, the serve before was broken up near the knot. So the stringer, what happened was Edberg nailed it, his return back that hit around the knot, around the frame, and just put a little bit too much tension, and the knot to tie off the string job really choked the main string and busted it.
1 serve.
See, a former #1, you can be world #1, it doesn't matter. Guys still feel the heat.
Yep.
Stefan Edberg did not play aggressive. On the deuce point, he chips and charges. He's in on him. He gets second serve here. He plays defensively. He dives one into the net. And really is frustrated for sure because he didn't play offensive. You gotta play to win out here. And now Pete Sampras has got that serve rocking. Second serve, 98 miles an hour. That's a Wimbledon champion. That's tennis of the 90s. You've got to hit your serves 115 to 120 consistently. You've got to hit your second serve 195 miles an hour.
Sampras serves his way out of trouble. A big deal, a big game for the #1 player and top seed, Pete Sampras.
Yeah.
And the top spinner guys, you can see them framing it,
Yeah.
you know, down the bottom.
Well, he only...
I would like to wish all the players good luck.
Want to crunch these?
Oh, okay, sure.
Wow.
Okay.
Look at Eddie's set. Yeah, because they're driving at you. Right. Back in the Coachella Valley, the second set is still young, but let's have another look at what really happened in set 1, Luke.
Edberg took complete control, used the momentum from yesterday. First serve percentage, way up, 86%. Sampras is down, but he's serving a much bigger serve. But here's the real storyline. 15 winners to 4 unforced errors for Edberg. That's winning tennis against the #1 player in the world. He's got to keep that up.
On serve in the second, Edberg to serve.
I promise you, if he ends up losing this match, he's going to look at that break point in the first game of the second set and say, why didn't I hit over that?
Yeah.
Why didn't I chip in, charge, and come in? Take it to Sampras. You've been doing it so well. That's why you stay away from that forehand. You don't get that thing rocking outside the line, outside the tram lines out here. He's going to nail it. Look at this. Sampras doesn't even have to move a foot to return this. One step, not even a step. Yeah, that's a knockout punch. Oh! Ooh, that's a bad error. I was just starting to feel the momentum changing. Big forehand. The difference with that forehand compared to the first point was Edberg put no pace on that second serve. Sampras had to generate all the pace, put some more control on it, hit it long. Edberg knows something no one else does. Keeping that ball high to that Sampras backhand is huge.
He's drawing a lot of errors from there. And another
and then going outside. See, going body backhand, and now bringing him wide. Number 3 for Edberg. Even when Edberg misses his serves, he always ends up inside the tee, inside that service line. Sampras trying to put some pressure on Edberg, make him feel the heat. Hit the shots to win. It's a good solid first serve, a little short, but look, execution. It's not the shot if you're Pete Sampras. You don't want to hit it to that backhand too much. He can go anywhere with it. Edberg can hit that backhand anywhere. There's a big difference between both serves. Sampras 104 out wide.
He was so good on all surfaces, really, Sampras, including hard courts, where he only lost 3 times. But the big one, of course, was at the U.S. Open when he lost to Slimy Jaime Izaga.
Yeah, but he had a few injuries, just coming back. He'd only really start picking up the racket the week before the Open.
Right, he had missed just about 6 weeks of the hard court season last year and lost an awful lot of momentum. Now 30 love.
A season he really enjoys. He likes playing the Canadian Open. He likes playing in Cincinnati, Indianapolis. Oh! He's done well there in the past. It's a good run for him. Stay in the States. Summertime, plays lots of golf. Look at that. Gets under the ball, watch his head steady. Just like a golfer hitting a swing, keeps his head steady. Everything else is, he's just pivoting right there, flowing through that forehand.
It's interesting you talk about that because my friend Donna Doherty from Tennis Magazine, who was doing an instructional with Sampras, they did their first one just about a month or 2 ago, and she said, you can't take a bad picture of this guy hitting a tennis ball. He's so smooth, so classic.
Classic forehand.
A good hole from Sampras, trying to establish himself in this second set. He'd better, because he's already lost the first. The Baltimore Spirit and the Wichita Wings. And Baltimore has won. Okay, you have lacrosse. Hold on 1 second. Deuce lacrosse.
Could I get a Snapple if possible?
Tonight at 9 Eastern.
Any Snapple done that. Thank you very much.
That's a good idea. Just from the semis, is it? Okay, good. Okie doke. I'll follow you. Okay. Back in the Newsweek Champions Cup, everything even in the second set. Tonight on the Deuce, check out the final game of the regular season in the Major Indoor Lacrosse League. Baltimore visits Philly, which has a league record 13-game home winning streak. That's tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 Pacific, right here on the Deuce. Edberg to serve.
That lacrosse action is awesome.
I know.
They bang heads.
They're loonies. Stefan Edberg, a low seed here in the semis. Sampras, of course, seeded 1. Agassi 2, Becker 3. They're all in there. And then Edberg, the 11th seed. And here's how it all shook out. Edberg with a good-looking win over Thomas Muster to get his way here. Sampras knocked off serve and volleyer Todd Martin, another American. Becker took out Magnus Larsson, the Swede, and Agassi made short work of South African Wayne Ferreira last night.
He makes a short order out of everybody. We've been playing some night matches behind him, and it's great because, you know, we're not out here until 1 or 2 in the morning playing some dubs. 3 and 4, and he's back in Vegas by the time we're done playing our match.
Something like that.
The best in the game since Ivan Lendl. Look at this. From one side of the way, he's already anticipating. He's running it, rackets back, gets under it. Rocket, looks it. Head steady. Oh! Keeps his shoulders turned. It's very important on that running forward. Keep your shoulders turned and let the racket go through.
Second serve.
Could have went anywhere. Down the line, cross court, topspin lob. High backhand return again. The surface just favors that serve so well. Nice high kick to the backhand.
This hard court really is pretty slow, isn't it? Really takes the ball and...
There are lots of services like this now. You go to Lipton next week. Indy, New Haven. Canadian Open, whether it's in Toronto or Montreal.
They slowed down the court, huh?
They slowed down the court. You have great rallies. It's really a fair court. Everyone agrees that this is a fair court for both the serve and volleyer like Edberg Sampras or the ground stroker like Chang. He is the complete volleyer. He gets in tight, volleys nice and deep, and the next one is just a dump. So Sampras doesn't know, should I stay back, should I come in? Look at this, Sampras, not sure to stay slow with it. Look at this, just can't get to the short one.
Now 40-15.
That volley is so effective on grass too.
Just dies. Man, no two ways about that one. Eddie all over the net.
Just his net coverage is so positive. Gets the ball deep, but then Sampras throws in, look at this, nice, rolls it nice and deep. Now watch his footwork, he doesn't lunge. He stays low, 1, 2, 3 steps for the put-away volley. He's on balance, he's behind the ball, executing his shots.
Terrific performance at the net so far from Edberg at 70. Sampras quite a bit lower.
Edberg's had some breaks, though. He's gotten a couple of net cords off of the return. He's had some backhand passes. Let's talk about it again. We could have had an instant replay. He almost goes into the pit, the photographer's pit, with that running forehand. It's a big court, nice and wide, nice and long.
Is Pete Sampras as quick as Edberg?
Not at the net, only because Edberg stays low, but on the ground strokes from the baseline, running to that forehand, no one can touch him.
15 low. Sampras wants to be getting a lot of first serves in against Edberg. Hasn't happened enough for him today. And he gets hurt when he misses that first one.
37% on second serve points went. That's bad. Good eye, Pete. Good eye. See, the ball is floating a little bit. Let it go. We talk numbers. We're crunching numbers constantly on the broadcast. But what these guys do, they actually do study it.
Yep. Sampras
will, after the match, Paul Annacone, who's now traveling with him right now, will go into the press room, get the match stats, and say, okay, Pete, this is the 37%. We've got to get that up. We got to make that better next time. This is a part that wasn't that good. Edberg will look at his stats and say, hey, this was great. On the stats, I'm playing great. But why didn't I play aggressive in that first game on that break point?
Our doctors come from, our numbers come from the great Dr. Leo Levin. That's Paul Annacone on the right in the blue shirt, and Todd Snyder, who traveled for 12 years on the HB Tour as a trainer for them. Now a personal trainer for Sampras. Sampras hose at love. Nothing between them in set 2. Okay. Okie doke. May I get some of that iced tea stuff too? The peachy stuff?
You notice this stuff has less than how can this have fat? Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
It has fat grams. The peach tea.
Thanks.
It's amazing. There you go. Yeah.
Wow. So he knows just what he's doing. Edberg took the first set on serve here in the second. Keep talking about Sampras being chased by Andre Agassi at number 2, but not by much. And then it's Boris Becker who plays Agassi in the second semifinal today. And after that, a couple of baseliners, Chang and Bruguera. Goran Ivanisevic is out with a bad knee for 5 more weeks at least. Alvaro Berasategui, last year's French Open finalist. Then Stieg, Count Kafelny, Yevgeny Kafelnikov, and Richard Krajicek rounding out the top 10. Again, Edberg now 16 in the world. No one in Sweden is ranked in the top 10, and that's it's been a long time. Not since 1982 has there been a Swede missing from the top 10.
Magnus Larsson just pulled down $2 million or whatever, $2 billion in that Grand Slam Cup. I don't think he's worried about top 10 right now.
No, I guess not. Second double fall for Eddie. Talking about how the pros are so aware of the statistics from these matches. Stefan Edberg has been that way for a long time. And it's 2 unforced errors in a row from Edberg. Why did he miss this one?
He's trying too much now. Hits a double fault. Watch this. He needs to pump this deep. Tries a little too much. Plus, he knows Sampras is going to run that down and do something with it. He's already hit a few running forehands today. If he doesn't execute this drop volley perfectly, Sampras will run down and hit it. Here's another Edberg problem.
Well, usually they don't go a set and a half without hearing Eddie getting called for footballs. He does it all the time, trying to get into the net so quickly. Oh, what a change up.
At 92 miles an hour, that's a big second serve from him.
4th ace, and this one really fools Pete Sampras and just de-pantses him on this one.
It's a true sign of a champion. He hits a double fault, stones the first volley, but then comes out and plays winning tennis on that second serve for an ace.
And now everything back even. Saying about Edberg, like 10 years ago, before anyone used to ask Dr. Leo Levin about the numbers of a match, Edberg went up to the good doctor and said, tell me something about my game that I don't know. And the doc said, you know what? The numbers on your forehand are good, because everyone's always talking about this guy, how his forehand's lame. He said, they're not that bad. It's not a classic looking forehand as is his backhand, but it holds up. And
Just
that's something Edberg needed to hear.
That's right. He needs that confidence.
Exactly. 3 straight points from Edberg. So from love 30 down, now he's serving for it to bring it to 3-all.
We're seeing a backhand mania. Backhand mania today. Nice return. Keeps it short and sweet. Looks to see what's going to go on. Backhand, rackets back, stays low. Nice backhand cross court. Follows through so nice, both players. Just a picture-perfect shot.
Big finishes on their swings.
Not overhitting, just executing.
Second double fault of this game, third of the match. This is the kind of game that a guy like Sampras has got to crawl all over.
And the fans know it. You can hear them up there. They're starting to get into it.
Sampras only 1 in 4 so far in breakpoint chances. Now 1 in 5.
He's going to this thing 90% of the time.
Really taking it either to the backhand. You see Sampras trying to practice his backhand, or into the Sampras body. Very smart serving. And although it's become predictable now, you got to keep going to it until it stops working.
What Sampras has to do is move around a little bit. Move to your left, move to your right, move back, move forward, move around. That was close. Edberg's looking at it.
Yeah.
But what did Sampras do on that return that made it so well? He moves around it. Watch this. Turns his shoulders. It's away from his body. Look at that. Keeps his head down. Nice follow through. Forces a weak volley.
Breakpoint chance. Another
Win
one.
the point. Second serve. Now look for Sampras to run around
Look
the
where he's
backhand.
standing.
That's right. In the tram lines. Right there. In the alley.
Give me a forehand, he's saying. Give me a forehand. Got the backhand! Got the break!
He's such a fighter, such a competitor. He's staying in there. He's missing, but he's adjusting the whole time. Little steps. Look at this. Keeps the backhand away. Look at this. Right down the line. On a string. He just nailed it down there.
Kind of pretty. 4-2 now. He's having a little problem. Maybe a little bloody nose or something.
Yeah, this happens to him a lot.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
What happens is in the dry climates and things like that.
We got Kirk Douglas watching on.
Injury time was called.
I think a trainer has been asked to come to the court. That is exactly what's happening.
The Bear.
So Pete Sampras is asking for a bit of a break here, an injury time out.
Yeah, what happens is when you're traveling so much, you get dry blood vessels, and you're going to get this all the time in this dry desert heat.
All right. While Sampras gets worked on, we'll take a break and come back. Come back with us.
That's injury timeout.
He has it again.
Hold on 1 second. We're talking about it. Who's that talking to Paulo Pereira? That's Mark? Mark Darby? All right. So it's just a 1 minute deal, a 3 minute deal?
Put something in cutting up his
Did you
nose.
like this in your sideline call the first game of the match? I didn't think you liked it. I saw it was on the line.
Is that Phil Norris down there?
Yeah, the Bear.
Wow. So he knows just what he's doing. Edberg took the first set on serve here in the second. keep talking about Sampras being chased by Andre Agassi at number 2, but not by much. And then it's Boris Becker who plays Agassi in the second semifinal today. And after that, a couple of baseliners, Chang and Bruguera. Goran Ivanisevic is out with a bad knee for 5 more weeks at least. Alvaro Berasategui, last year's French Open finalist. Then Stieg, Count Kafelny, Yevgeny Kafelnikov, and Richard Krajicek rounding out the top 10. Again, Edberg now 16 in the world. No one in Sweden is ranked in the top 10, and that's it's been a long time. Not since 1982 has there been a Swede missing from the top 10.
Magnus Larsson just pulled down $2 million or what, $2 billion in that Grand Slam Cup. I don't think he's worried about top 10 right now.
No, I guess not. Second double fault for Eddie. Talking about how the pros are so aware of the statistics from these matches. Stefan Edberg has been that way for a long time. And it's 2 unforced errors in a row from Edberg. Why did he miss this one?
He's trying too much now. Hits a double fault. Watch this. He needs to pump this deep. Tries a little too much. Plus, he knows Sampras is going to run that down and do something with it. He's already hit a few running forehands today. If he doesn't execute this drop volley perfectly, Sampras will run it down and hit it. Here's another Edberg problem.
Well, usually on Goa, a set and a half without hearing Eddie getting called for footballs. He does it all the time, trying to get into the net so quickly. Oh, what a change up.
At 92 miles an hour, that's a big second serve from him.
4th ace, and this one really fools Pete Sampras and just de-pantses him on this one.
It's a true sign of a champion. He hits a double fault, stones the first volley, but then comes out and plays winning tennis on that second serve for an ace.
And now everything back even. Saying about Edberg, like 10 years ago, before anyone used to ask Dr. Leo Levin about the numbers of a match, Edberg went up to the good doctor and said, "Tell me something about my game that I don't know." And the doc said, "You know what? The numbers on your forehand are good," because everyone's always talking about this guy, how his forehand's lame. He said, "They're not that bad. It's not a classic looking forehand as is his backhand, but it holds up." And
Just
that's
it
something
doesn't
Edberg
look,
needed
yeah,
to
that's
hear.
right. He needs that confidence.
Exactly. 3 straight points from Edberg. So from love 30 down, now he's serving for it to bring it to 3-all.
We're seeing a backhand mania today. Nice return. Keeps it short and sweet. Looks to see what's going to go on. Backhand, rackets back, stays low. Nice backhand cross court. Follows through so nice, both players. Just a picture perfect shot.
Big finishes on their swings.
Not overhitting, just executing.
Second double fault of this game, 3rd of the match. This is the kind of game that a guy like Sampras has got to crawl all over.
And the fans know it. You can hear them up there. They're starting to get into it.
Sampras only 1 in 4 so far in breakpoint chances. Now 1 in 5.
He's going to this thing 90% of the time.
Really taking it either to the backhand. You see Sampras trying to practice his backhand, or into the Sampras body. Very smart serving. And although it's become predictable now, you got to keep going to it until it stops working.
What Sampras has to do is move around a little bit. Move to your left, move to your right, move back, move forward, move around. That was close. Edberg's looking at it.
Yeah.
But what did Sampras do on that return that made it so well? He moves around it. Watch this. Turns his shoulders. It's away from his body. Look at that. Keeps his head down. Nice follow through. Forces a weak volley.
Breakpoint chance. Another
win
one.
the point. Second serve now. Look for Sampras to run around
Look
the
where he's
backhand.
standing.
That's right. In the tram lines, right there, in the alley.
Give me a forehand, he's saying. Give me a forehand. Got the backhand!
He's such a fighter. Such a competitor. He's staying in there. He's missing, but he's adjusting the whole time. Little steps. Look at this. Keeps the backhand. Look at this. Right down the line on a string. He just nailed it down there.
Kind of pretty. 4-2 now. He's having a little problem. Maybe a little bloody nose or something.
Yeah, this happens to him a lot.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
What happens is in the dry climates and things like that.
We got Kirk Douglas watching on.
An injury timeout is in court.
I think a trainer has been asked to come to the court. That is exactly what's happening.
The bear.
So Pete Sampras is asking for a bit of a break here, an injury timeout.
Yeah, what happens is when you're traveling so much, you get dry blood vessels, and you're going to get this all the time in this dry desert heat.
All right. While Sampras gets worked on, we'll take a break and come back. Come back with us.
That's injury timeout.
He has it again.
Who's that talking to Paulo Pereira? That's Mark? Mark Darby? All right. So it's just a 1 minute deal, a 3 minute deal?
Put something in cutting up his
You
nose.
like this on your sideline call the first game of the match? I didn't think you would. I saw it was on the line.
Is that Phil Norris down there?
Yeah, the bear.
The bear.
Billy Bear.
What was what?
He has another one. They probably got to give him another. Starts bleeding again.
Back on stadium court, the injury timeout continues. Pete Sampras being treated for a bloody nose by Bill the Bear Norris, ATP Tour trainer. And I guess they're just trying to stop the bleeding. This injury timeout is just about over. And as you can see, the trainers now are always wearing gloves on the sidelines. He seems about done. Stefan Edberg just relaxing, changing his shirt. He's been getting quite a hand every time he's taken his shirt off this week. It's been a nice run for Pete Sampras of late. 11 straight service points since that break point he was facing early in this second set. Let's see if he's okay.
There's a big difference between both players right there. Sampras has the big gun. Edberg can't rely on an ace or a big service winner.
He's a serve volley combo platter man.
Exactly. A Pat Cash. A very traditional all-court player without the big gun. In today's game, you got to have it. You need those free points. If you give players today cracks at your serve, time in, time out, a guy like Sampras is going to string a couple together and break you and get back into the match. And continue to serve you into trouble. He's serving Edberg into... And that's 120 out wide. I mean, if he's going down to the tee with that, that thing's going to be 130. I think Stiek registered a 137 against Larson the other night.
That's about as big as it gets.
Running him all over the place. Nice backhand by Edberg, but what happens is when he goes down the line with that backhand, Sampras has the big water on the forehand. Nice chip return. Stay slow. Watch how his knees are bent the whole time. The players just ripping ground strokes. Now he's got the open forehand. Nice shot.
Back live, an ace, his ninth, gives Sampras a 40-love lead.
great return. But he's not losing that many points. Edberg has to play the perfect shot. Knees are bent. Not a big backswing. Bunts it back low.
Good serving from Sampras. He's holding very comfortably these days. Okie doke. Now, okay. College hoops. Okie doke. Yep.
Oh, it's just getting cooling down, yeah.
Nice back. Let's get the
Time.
back live at the Newsweek Champions Cup. I'm Eric Carollo along with Luke Jensen. Semifinal action continues between Pete Sampras, who's about to win this second set from Stefan Edberg, draw things even. First serve percentages by set. Is that a surprise to you, Luke?
Oh, it's just gone down. He's really lost his momentum that he gained. That Edberg gained from yesterday in the beginning of this set.
And Sampras,
that will kill you.
And Sampras isn't being too hurt on his second serve. 10 unforced errors from Sampras.
They cover the court so well. One side of the court, all of a sudden, it's a big volley, a big return. This guy's just covering the court. They're just demons out there. Now he seems like he's attacking the Sampras forehand. Give him a different look. Getting 5-2, really trying to win this game to make Sampras serve it out. They give him the backhand, try a little slice and dice, get it low. That was a strange point, but a good point. You're at 40 love, mix up the pace. Sampras has been seeing the same diet of serve and volley, that meat and potatoes type of grind by Edberg. So Edberg says, okay, 40 love, I'll just throw one in. Let's just play up the point.
Yeah, that 75-mile-an-hour serve did seem to put Sampras off course, but now he serves for this set. Becker and Agassi are on the other half of this semifinal draw. Who do you like there?
Oh, the A-train, Agassi.
Okay.
7 in a row now. It's basically a home match for him. And he's flying home every night. He feels comfortable here.
Big return from Edberg. He's not out of the second set yet. That is amazing, by the way, that Agassi is flying home to Las Vegas. Here we are.
Again, moves in forward, short backswing, picks his target. Top players hit their shots, pick where they want to hit it, and they nail it.
Nice big first serve, 117, draws the out.
On the
flying
line.
home from here to Vegas, back and forth every day.
He looks at his
On air,
schedule
Agassi.
and he says, what's my home match? Well, on the West Coast, I've got San Jose, that's a home match. Scottsdale, it's a home match. Memphis was a little too far. Indian Wells, a home match. Actually, he was down here practicing, went back home, actually drove down. Little cannonball run action with his big Bertha. He's got a big Humvee that he drives around. Suburban, you know, one of his many cars and trucks and playthings.
Yep.
That's a 90-mile-an-hour second serve. I mean, if you're a kid out there right now watching, wanting to know how do I become the world's best player, you develop a serve like that in a second. The theory, you're only as good as your second serve. Well, he's got the best second serve in the game. Wimbledon champion, US Open champion, Australian Open champion. It's not a mistake. That's just a bad miss hit. Now, the reason he missed that, the ball was nice and deep, and he didn't get his racket back fast enough. Usually he has the racket nice and back. You just have to come through with it. Look at Jimmy Connors, John McEnroe, racket's always back. When that ball's nice and deep, you have to get the racket back, shorten up the backswing, and just shove it back deep. Can't be caught late. Huge, huge point for Stefan Edberg to get back in this set. This. Straight to the open water, down the line, executes it. Picture perfect. See, he pulls Sampras off to the court, opens it up inside out. It's a very difficult shot.
One more point from Edberg, and we're right back on serve.
He hasn't missed, that's right, he hasn't missed so many of those. He wasn't ready for it. It's the only time he was kind of rushed. You have to continue to move the feet. He had Sampras in trouble. He forced the weak first volley, actually rolled the forehand, just didn't make the pass. That's just a gnarly serve. That's an even 10 at 118 miles an hour.
Sets up a set point for the top seed. Deciding third set after this.
Oh, yeah.
This is a good match. Yeah. What about Mooster?
The Colonel.
He's styling. Yep. Oops. Du jour. Women's Big West. I got asked to do women's Final Four, but I'm going to be at Hilton. Okay. It is a busy weekend. March Madness.
God, I love this.
Newsweek Champions Cup semifinals. They're all even here on the stadium court. Let's talk some hoops. Tonight, tune into the Deuce for the championship game of the Women's Big West Conference. UC Irvine takes on the University of the Pacific for an automatic bid to the NCAA tournament. That's tonight at 1 a.m. Eastern. Stay up. 10 p.m. Pacific time here on the Deuce. Edberg to serve. You got a feel for the wheel on this one or what? Or is there just nothing between these boys?
I think Sampras has got the momentum now. He's got the big gun in the serve. He's got his feel back. First set, Edberg just mauled him. Came out, said, I'm ready to play. I'm going to take it to you. Got an early break. Here we go, the heat's on. And there's no better player that can execute like this than world #1. That's why he's there. There's no mistake about it.
It's
Nice
a good
return.
volley from Edberg, too.
Oh,
He
stuck it. He stuck it. Look at this. Rackets back, stays low. Comes through.
Great
He knows
balance.
it, yeah.
Great form, second serve at love 15.
back. And he can't stay back with Pete Sampras. Edberg staying with the forehand, but look at his forehand. Comes in on the approach way too short. Volley in no man's land to the forehand. And it's just a disaster for Edberg.
Heads
Sampras
up, love
munching
30.
it. That's again a great volley by Edberg, keeping it deep. Keeping Sampras off balance. But that's the kind of tennis he has to play against Sampras if he's going to win. Look at those numbers to win the first set. And it was only 6-4. You'd think normally it'd be like 6-1, 6-0.
Yep.
That's what the big serve gives you. Clicking, he's getting it down. He's forcing Edberg to volley up. Look at this, racket's back. It's away from him. It's not really jamming him anymore. Racket's back. He just puts Edberg on hold up there, and he can go cross court down the line.
2 chances to break open this third set right away. Only took 1.
He's fired up. Look at him. It's going nuts.
Sampras takes the lead in the third. We'll be back with more. Stay with us. What are the backhand winners by Guy? Also, do you want a turkey sandwich? Can we two turkeys get a little turkey up here? Even more turkey?
Can I get a guppy sandwich?
Guppy, guppy, guppy.
Yeah. So we keep talking about the Eddie backhand, but
yeah,
Pete's
the pistols.
had even more winners.
Yeah.
So I guess, right, Edberg didn't miss the ball, but he's got to stop going to the PD back.
Okay.
Okay.
Hi.
Ah, cool. Back on the stadium court, let's have a look between the lines of that second set, Luke.
Edberg had his chances. First game of the second set, he could have taken a commanding lead, didn't execute, didn't play aggressive, and then that really came apart. Then he had a break point to get back into the second set. 5-4, Sampras serving, didn't execute, but here is the difference. Sampras turning it all around. 14 winners, 6 unforced errors.
Missed it. Keep talking about the tremendous year Sampras put together in 1994.
When you win Grand Slams, when you win Big Nine, when you win Key Biscayne, Indian Wells, this is what happens.
Yeah.
Look at that point total. I mean, no one's not even close in the history of the game.
Yeah, he distanced himself from the rest of the field more than any man ever had at this time last year. Now Andre Agassi is not far from him at all. Sampras was waiting for a baseline call. We did not get it.
That's what depth does. It really puts your opponent on the defensive. Edberg wins the point because he keeps the ball deep. Well, so much is talked about Sampras, that great run he had in the first 6 months, how far apart he was from the rest of the field.
He lapped the field.
That's right. Now, what does he do to improve on that? He had those injuries. He gets Todd Snyder, longtime ATP trainer, to get out and travel with him full time to take care of him. I mean, if he stays healthy, I mean, can Agassi touch him? I mean, maybe he's the only guy. I mean, Edberg, he's proven to Edberg that when Sampras serves well and is moving well, you can't stop him.
He's doing a lot of both right now, 40-15.
That's what Yvonne Wendell did so well. He took care of his body. He was a workhorse. He was a brick house. Good volley, passing shot way too high. Reads it and then crunches it. 121.
11th ace.
He's just rolling right now. You just felt that momentum just turn as soon as he held out for the second serve. I mean, the second set, and then he broke right away. He's just rolling. Edberg is just in disarray. But going back to his health, if he can just, Todd Snyder's working on daily, stretching him out, taking him to the gym, making sure that he's prepared to go the whole year. Now he's added Davis Cup to his calendar.
I always felt that Pete Sampras had a great instinct for what he needs. You know, champions tend to do that. They tend to gather around them the people that can really make them strong. A double from Eddie, his 4th double fault.
He's really fallen apart ever since the first set has ended.
Yep.
That first game of the second was so huge.
Here's Todd the God Snyder, who is now the personal trainer of Sampras. Sampras' woes last year really did begin with some injuries right after he won Wimbledon.
Davis Cup against Holland. Just a grueling schedule. Gets that ball nice and high.
Winners by set, Luke.
Look at that. The big difference is Edberg has just declined.
Yep.
Sampras has picked up.
That's just early in the third set. He's already had 7.
That's right. But going back to the injury factor, what did he do in that layoff? He didn't rush himself back. He targeted the US Open. The great players target Grand Slam events, Super 9 events to win. But you never rush an injury.
Well, Sampras, in fact, wasn't good enough for the US Open. Again, he lost early to Jaime Izaga, pulled up lame, and then he tried to play unsuccessfully Davis Cup just a week after that. Sampras' biggest problem with playing Davis Cup is that it always comes after the slams, it seems, right after the Australian, right after Wimby. He was hurt, as you mentioned, right after the US, he was hurt. But he's playing it again, got caught flat-footed on that fine serve from Edberg. So now Edberg can serve and get on the scoreboard in this third set.
What happens is the guys that he has to play in Sweden, in Italy now, in these Davis Cup ties, well, you know, they're losing in the first week. They got that whole 2 weeks to prepare and munch on them.
That goes out.
And it's so hard when the country's calling your number. Say, Pete, you know, let's go out. Let's, you know, pull one in for the U.S. And, like, you know, the schedule is so demanding. And Andre says, I'm coming after you.
That's right. Well, Agassi and Sampras have put down their swords to try to get the U.S. into the third round of the Davis Cup. They'll be going to Italy, as we mentioned, right after the Lipton, which starts next week.
They had a great press conference with Gully in between, just going back and forth, talking about the meat grinder of the rivalry.
Yep.
Beating each other's brains out and stuff like that.
Captain Tom Gullickson was here. He was successfully persuaded the two to play. That falls wide. Edberg holds, but he's already down a break in this final set of the semis here at the Newsweek Champions Cup.
Ladies and gentlemen, you can be the owner of a new Wimbledon racket valued at $220. Simply visit the Cadillac display in the Village and enter the Cadillac Measure Up Challenge. Today's Cadillac winner will be announced prior to the doubles final.
We're going overtime. The national best 7? Yep. Okie doke. Is this gonna happen?
Yeah.
Have you heard about it?
I haven't heard about it.
All right. I'll tell you later. You won't be happy, man. You will not be happy. You are not included. No, you will not be happy that you have not been thought of.
She's hanging out at the wigwam. She's fired up.
She's at the wigwam. I know.
Oh, she's got that like.
She's got that wigwam thing happen.
Dances with wolves, Bill.
Time.
Coming up, it's thoroughbred racing. For those of you who had tuned in to see the National Best 7 thoroughbred racing, welcome instead to Overtime Newsweek Champions Cup coverage. We'll be staying with this match till the end, and then we'll join the thoroughbred racing in progress. What a terrific looking semifinal this has been. Stefan Edberg grabbed the first set from the top Pete Sampras at 6-4. Then Sampras came back at 6-3. And now Sampras, at the bottom of your screen, serving at 2-1. A great draw for sure. Edberg was a surprise semifinalist here. And as you can see, Becker, the #3 player in the world, goes up against the #2 with a bullet, Andre Agassi, in the other semifinal.
Large Marge.
Number 12.
121 miles an hour. It's great for the fans to be able to watch and see exactly how fast these serves are moving. Nice backhand return by Edberg. He stayed with it, watched the ball into his racket. When the ball's coming that hard right into you, you just have to hold your ground. Watch the ball right into the strings, get it down low to Sampras's feet to make him volley up.
Trying to track it.
Taking the biggest swings on those volleys. The volleys are nice and high, and the ball looks like a big watermelon up there. Taking great cracks at it.
40-15. Falls wide. Another good hold from Pete Sampras. Lou Jensen, we have a look at part of that last point. Let me ask you, the way he is playing, I mean, he's gotten better with every set, Sampras. He really looks to be so strong right now. Will it help him that it's a 3 of 5 set final tomorrow night, primetime on ESPN? I mean, you like the idea that whether it's Becker or Agassi, he gets to play in a 5-set match?
I think having it at night where it's a little cooler also, not in the heat of day, is going to help him a lot.
Let's catch you up on this match.
Look at that first serve percentage. 61% are serving at that major level. Edberg is getting wiped out, and he's serving at 72. That's very good. I mean, for normal players when you're playing normal guys. But Pete Sampras is not a normal guy. Edberg won the first set serving at 90% first serves. Really catching Sampras off balance, but now he's at 72, which would be gnarly for any player. Solid tennis, but now he's down a break in the third. Having to somehow figure out, how do I break Pete Sampras's serve? The approach just tailed off a little bit. Edberg was on it. Even if that ball would have been good, Edberg had a nice shot at a cross-court forehand pass. That's what Edberg has to do to win points. Keep Sampras off balance, driving deep into the corners. But it's tough for Edberg. He's always on the defensive or he has to be so offensive here. Look how Sampras looks so relaxed. Nice forehand for the winner.
40-15. He's got to cut it so close, though.
Yeah, he has to work so hard.
He's got to make it so fine.
He has to work so hard for his points. The speed of Sampras around that baseline is phenomenal.
Had a crack at it, Sampras, but he couldn't control it. Edberg holds tough, but Sampras up a break in the third.
Quandex Corporation introducing its new Wimbledon Conquer tennis racket is proud to be the official racket sponsor of the Newsweek Champions Cup. And Heineken, America's #1 imported beer, welcomes you to the 1995 Newsweek Champions Cup. After moving your head from side to side, why not tilt it back for a cold Heineken? Heineken, making friends since 1864.
Can this kind of beat Agassi? It would be close, wouldn't it? Yeah. Thoroughbred bump. Okie doke. Just 3. Yeah. That's why I like. That's why I even brought it up. I thought over 3 was got a better chance. Just a reminder, everybody, Thoroughbred Racing is coming up at the conclusion of this semifinal match between Pete Sampras and Stefan Edberg. We will be showing the national best 7 Thoroughbred Racing. A couple of Thoroughbreds still out on the stadium court now, though. So let's watch what happens.
Pete Sampras in the driver's seat, up a break, with one of the biggest guns, the biggest serves in the game. The howitzer. Call him pistol, but it's a cannon. American made right here. Just scrapping, you know, just everything's off of the grip and the handle and the everywhere. Gets the ball low. Nice volley by Sampras. Rips it cross court. Just kind of dumps the volley. Really wasn't down low, anticipating. Gotta always be on your toes. And Edberg's gonna run down everything. He's gonna get the ball back. He's gotta get this break.
Third double fault. 2 sloppy points could make this a very interesting final set.
Edberg's on his toes. Sees the opportunity.
Stuck that ball.
Hey, great stuff. He just, in a desperate situation, nice serve to the forehand, floats it, and doesn't just, you know, hit it over there, punches it. See, I don't think Pete Sampras has the motion so much. I think he can throw a nice, solid first serve, second serve, and rally with Edberg. Even though Edberg's going to come in, Edberg hasn't found the rhythm yet.
It's been a bad game for Sampras. 3 unforced errors give Edberg a real big chance to draw this thing even.
Right now. He just forced himself out of it. He didn't need to rush into it.
Edberg didn't really win this game. Sampras lost it himself.
He just scrapped. He battled in there. See, he's fired up now. Now you've got a former #1, a very experienced player on this circuit in the match again. He's moving well. He's got some confidence. Here he goes.
When he starts doing that little skip after the points, you know how good he's feeling. These two have played each other many, many times, and none has ever been able to dominate the other. The last time they played was an absolutely gorgeous match at the ATP Championship, 7-6 in the third. I mean, it came down to the last point. Tied at 6 in 12 meetings.
Edberg fights so hard. Yesterday, Thomas Muster, the Colonel, had him just beaten down. Edberg was making errors all over the place. Couldn't even find the strings. Look at this. Edberg won 10 of the last 11 points. Just battling. Not playing great tennis, but hustling.
He's a warrior. You wait for good things to happen. And when you keep yourself close enough, that's his 5th ace.
There's no clock in tennis. Keeps on going. It's all with you. The rhythm changes. The momentum changes. Nice delivery. Nice ball toss. Uses his legs.
That's his biggest serve of the day. Get it. These are the thoroughbreds. Well, that's fair.
Oh, this is great. Let's break out the wood rackets for these guys. You know, go over to the grass courts and finish this thing like men.
Hi.
Back on the deuce, Mary Carollo along with Luke Jensen. Watching a really good-looking semifinal between Pete Sampras and Stefan Edberg. Edberg has taken control.
First serve percentage, 61%. But here it is. Pete Sampras, second serve, points 1. This is huge. It's going up. It was down low. It's 40% now. First serve is going to win lots of those points, but the crowd is into it. Edberg has really turned the last couple games around. Pete's panicking. Don't panic, Pete. Just nail the first serve. Edberg's all over him right now. He's just hitting the returns nice and solid.
And Edberg's keeping his game so clean compared to Sampras, who's had an awful lot of unforced errors in this final set. 4 in the last game to get busted.
I think he needs a good 10-ball rally. I think he needs to throw a lot of high balls out there from the ground, slice some. Edberg is just on the roll. He wants the points quick. He just feels momentum. He's going to another racket change. Now what he'll do is if he breaks a racket, breaks a string, he'll give it to his coach, Paul Anacone, who will fire it up to the stringer, and then they can do one of those rackets 15, 20 minutes tops. See him in there, he puts in the dampener. Little piece of rubber that takes away the vibration, deadens the feel a little bit. Edberg has the same exact racket as Sampras, doesn't use the dampener. A little bit more of a lively feel when you hit the ball.
Whoa!
Just rushed.
4th double fault. He's in a bad patch.
Slow down, take your time. Thank God for the big gun. course, Edberg has to work so hard during down patches like that second set, the beginning of this third set. Sampras all over him. Sampras in bad patches. Can you rely
on that?
On the gun. Edberg forces a short ball. Nice backhand. Gets back into court. Attack, attack. There he is. Knocks off the backhand volley. Sticks it.
Draws it to deuce.
Long stretch on the backhand. Didn't really get out of that hole. See, he was stuck there. He thought the shot wasn't going to be good. And actually could have had a chance to it if he'd have taken off a little earlier. Never give up on that.
13th ace. Makes it even at 4. Here at the Newsweek Champions Cup, tennis has gone big time on ESPN. Tennis has gone prime time. Tonight, prime time semifinal action. The other semi between Boris Becker and Andre Agassi, and then prime time tomorrow night, the big 3 of 5 set final between the winner of this match and the other semi. That's on ESPN. What a way to start out the Super 9 series on ESPN.
Will go behind Sampras, anticipating the open court volley. Try to cut it off. An experienced Edberg goes behind him. Nice second serve right on the line. Forces the high return. Spanks it. See how Sampras is about to take off? Anticipation. When you're hitting a weak return, you have to anticipate like that. If Edberg goes cross court with that, Sampras is waiting to munch on it. The backhand pass. A nice deep return forces Edberg to hit off his back foot and shank it. Talking about prime time coming up. I mean, there's been a buzz about the locker room. The whole thing about being on Monday, being on prime time. It's been a big event. Everyone's been looking forward to it. Getting tennis right in the homes of millions of people.
And no matter who wins, that at 115 to do the job for Edberg. No matter who comes through in these semis, it's going to be a great looking final. 30-15. Edberg still wants to be the man in there tomorrow night. He's already won a title this year in Doha, so he is not out of the mix. Missed it. I think he hesitated for a fraction of a moment, thinking maybe of letting that return float out.
And he took it, yeah. He took it and he stuck it. Just missed it. When these top players miss shots, it's only by an inch. Very rarely will they just flail and make very bad errors.
30 all.
In the start, Edberg feels the pressure. He never shows his emotions.
They've both broken 3 times. They've both had a lot of chances, a lot of looks. Eddie's here like leg cord.
Edberg won't get too many leg cords because he kicks the ball so much, gets the ball high over the net.
serving court when we come back.
And America's #1 tennis ball is proud to sponsor some big champions. Up, Anderson.
Hey, Sarah, I guess we're going to get right out of here. Crash closed. All right. Right. You don't want to come out, do you?
Time.
Our coverage of the Newsweek Champions Cup is being brought to you by Infinity, JBL, Harman Kardon, and Pyle, the companies of Harman International. A lot more great tennis ahead. This one isn't over yet between Sampras and Edberg. Sampras serving court. Keep in mind, the final of this great event tomorrow night, prime time on ESPN. And the Deuce is going to have more coverage of tennis coming up. But Lipton, that's Tuesday, March 21st, here on the Deuce.
Sampras at the wheel. Coming in with a 94-mile-an-hour second serve. Edberg playing a great return of serve, coming in, smashing and crashing. Sampras coming up with the goods. Rackets back, gets out in front. Looking to see if Sampras is going to get it. It's a winner.
15-all.
Pete's got to make some first serves here. He chipped the last one. This is the versatility. Out in front, big follow through, short backswing. He's fired up, he's there. Two players showing their emotion. There's the dump volley. Look at the touch. Edberg very disappointed.
Very respectful of what just happened. Two most stylish, elegant players in the game, putting together yet another remarkable match. 30-all.
That's a good hit. Smart play on the second serve to pull him out wide. Make Edberg hit the forehand to beat you in a critical situation. At 15-all, you got to put the people blocking. Stands up filled.
Sampras digs it out when he needs to.
See how he put that backspin on it? He opened up the racket face, draws it back into the net, and there's Edberg running past him.
Two great players, two terrific gentlemen. It's finally over. Sampras barely gets through this semi. 4-6, 6-3, 6-4. Pete Sampras is in our primetime final tomorrow night. Again, keep in mind, a lot more tennis action on ESPN and on the Deuce, too. We're going to have coverage from the Lipton next Tuesday, so stay tuned for that. For Luke Jensen, I'm Mary Grove. Thanks for watching, everybody. National Best 7 is coming up.